Okay, it is joint practice day, ladies and gentlemen, and oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about. Positive, negative, and everything in between. Some good signs from the offensive line, some good signs from our explosive playmakers, some bad signs from our defense. And yes, it is joint practice. And also, can somebody confirm for me if they were hitting in pads? Because Pete Carroll said they're not going to be in pads, but then the reports are saying that there were some bigger than thought to be hits on certain players. I don't know. We're going to talk about all that. We've got some footage to watch. We've got maybe the mystery as to why JPJ has moved from center to right guard to talk about. We've got a whole bunch to talk about. But before we get into all that, I just want to let you know that we're 100 subs away from 14,000. That is massive. If you could hit that like button, comment away, and please subscribe. We're trying to get to 14,000 before the new league year. And today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, OddsJam. Look at these results. People are making thousands every month betting on sports completely risk-free. The secret? They're using OddsJam. OddsJam isn't just another betting app. It's turning the entire system in your favor. Here's how. OddsJam uses a strategy called arbitrage, finding odds discrepancies across the sports books. You bet both sides, and no matter the outcome, you will profit. Here's an example. If you bet $500 on Boise State to win on FanDuel and $335 on their opponent San Francisco on DraftKings, you're guaranteed to make $50 win or lose. It's that simple. With the OddsJam mobile app, you'll get real-time alerts on these opportunities every day. People are making thousands of dollars every month, and to get you started, use promo code ALLaBorde for 35% off and a 7-day free trial. I guarantee you'll profit during that trial, and if you don't, cancel with one click. No questions asked. Don't leave money on the table. Go to oddsjam.com, use promo code ALLaBorde, and start making money the smart way. So if you want to check out OddsJam, link in the description below, along with my Discord link and my Patreon link. Let's get into a little bit of training camp, joint practice information. Now, the title of the video is not to be overstated. It was a shootout. Not much to be seen from our defense or from the 49ers defense. Now, I do want to watch this video because this is from the day before the joint practice where Geno Smith, oh, that's too loud, where Geno Smith connected with Trey Tucker. That ball is one of the most beautiful balls ever. And I'm pretty sure this was the play where Michael Mayer was like, no one's been able to catch Trey Tucker since I've been here 2.5 years. And again, I've said this, of all the Dante Thornton talk, I think Trey Tucker is going to surprise a lot of people. And I'm excited to see it. So as we scroll up here, obviously Levi Edwards are reading first. We've got a lot of people to read, even some San Francisco 49ers beat writers. We got people warming up here from the Raiders and from the 49ers. And here's where we start to hear what's going on during the joint practice. Top catches in one-on-one drills so far against the 49ers go to Dante Thornton and Alec Bachman. Shout out to Alec Bachman. Still making a grab with pass interference being called. Jacoby Myles also burnt his defender on a hitch route, but the ball was overthrown. Oh, it was a hitch and go. Right off the rip there, we're going to have weapons, man. Even our backups are still making plays against the 49ers defense. Now, I'm sure he was going up against maybe some backup cornerback, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Ashton Jeanty just ripped off a big run to start the team period against the 49ers. Well, that's good to hear that he's not a complete bust after that just god-awful performance that he had against the Seattle Seahawks. Anyway, Levi continues by saying, Geno has had a pretty accurate day so far. Only incompletion so far was on a deep shot to Dante Thornton. He has been in sync with Jacoby Myers, among others. Love to hear that. Things are getting a little chippy in the special teams period. Raheem Mostert looks like he wants some. I don't know if you guys saw the Raheem Mostert mic'd up video, but this guy, I'm ready to die for this guy. Raheem Mostert is quickly becoming one of my new favorite players from the regime that just brought him in. I love his energy. I love his skill set. He led the league in touchdowns, 2 years ago? So, could be a sneaky little player for us as well. Max Crosby and Tyree Wilson get home for a would-have-been sack on Brock Purdy. Wilson at tackle on the pass rush downs might be the move. So let's break that down a little bit. I do think Tyree Wilson needs to have a big year for us to exceed expectations. If we're going to hover around 7 or 8 wins, that means that the defense isn't great or isn't even good. But if Tyree Wilson And all reports say that he is improved off of his first 2 seasons. I don't know how much salt you need to take grains of with that story, but if he's able to make a modest impact like Adam Butler, right? 6.5, 7 sacks, play well against the run game. If he is that D tackle on pass rush downs, along with Adam Butler, Max Crosby, and Malcolm Kuntz, there is area for optimism there. Now, I don't know who's not going to be out there during pass rush downs, whether that's Aleki Fotu, Jonah Lalau. There's going to be tweets we read here that Thomas Booker is getting first-team reps, and that's interesting. I don't know if that says a lot about him or if that says more about how bad our defensive tackle group is. Max Crosby talked about Tonka Hemingway as well. So there's stuff there to be mined information-wise. First touchdown of the day for the Raiders, Geno Smith to Brock Bowers on a corner route in red zone period. That's huge because Geno Smith's big bugaboo in Seattle was red zone turnovers and red zone efficiency, and having Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers is probably going to help a lot with that. Overall, Raiders defense has been really good against the run today. That's huge because they were not good against the run against the Seahawks. However, they've been struggling against the 49ers' quick game and screens. You know, that is concerning because that means that schematically Kyle Shanahan was just out scheming Pete Carroll. Now, what you have to understand, and Patrick Graham, what you have to understand is, number one, this is practice, so take this with a grain of salt. But number two, in practice, especially against a team that you're not going to play in the regular season like the 49ers, you're going to run more of the offense that you typically run in the regular season than you will in the preseason because it's on the national stage and everyone's seeing this. You can keep your joint practice schemes basically a secret for the most part. And Kyle Shanahan, I'm sure, busted out a lot of plays that he knew would hurt the Pete Carroll type defense, which is what George Kittle said is what it felt like playing against them today. He said in his press conference after the joint practice that it felt like the 2015 the 2015 Seahawks defense. So that's something to keep in mind. Our defense did not have a good day today overall, and I'm not going to shy away from that. Apparently, that's something that did happen. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Is that all from Levi? After a few failed attempts throughout the day, Geno Smith found Trey Tucker on a deep shot in the end zone. It was their second touchdown connection of the day. Their first was in red zone period. Any quotes here? Pete Carroll on the back of his hat is absolutely hilarious. Max Crosby holds rookie defensive tackle Tonka Hemingway in high regard as a player, as he believes he'll be a piece in the rotation. He's super quiet, but he's starting to come out of his shell, and his play will speak for itself. Okay, so that was Levi Edwards. So we're going to get into some more stuff here, but before that, I just want to let you know that you can become a member of this channel, or you can become a Patreon member and get your name at the end of the credits, along with a bunch of other perks. Link in the description below, or you can click the join button that's right here on the bottom of the screen to the right side of the video. I'm giving $100 to one lucky YouTube member who joins before the first game, September 7th. So if you want to become part of that group, you just have to join the YouTube membership program. So far, we got 5 people in there. So there's 5 people eligible to win that $100. You could be the 6th person. So yeah. This 49ers and NFL News 24/7. Humbling. Early at joint practices, 49ers defensive line is not getting much traction against the Raiders line. That was via Vic Tafur, who's, by the way, working for the Niners now. I did not know that. That's interesting. Now, Nick Bosa was not out there, right, to wreak havoc. However, the offensive line of the Raiders did not play well against the Seattle Seahawks twos just 1 week ago. So they had some starters out there for the 49ers, but not Nick Bosa. And the fact that we were able to basically stonewall them from a pass rush standpoint for most of the practice is huge because, again, like I said before, they are probably running more stunts and more techniques that they would run in the regular season rather than a joint preseason game. So that's pretty good for the Raiders' offensive line to be able to stonewall, for lack of a better term, the Robert Saleh defense. If you don't have your starters out, I get it, but it is what it is. Okay, so let's see. Now we got Tashawn Reed. We're going to go through the same thing here. Nick Bosa wasn't practicing. This is what we talked about before. Ashton Genty for a nice run. Probably would have been around a 20-yard gain. The defense looks solid against the Niners offense. Ricky Pearsall had a nice catch for a chunk gain, though. Okay. Niners have been holding Trent Williams out of the team drills. We read about the Max Crosby sack. 49ers offense is making a lot of big plays against the Raiders today. Purdy split the safeties for a deep Pearsall touchdown. Brandon Willis hauled in a deep corner, and CMC's been involved in the downfield passing game. And that's where the concern is. Now, again, you can't hit the quarterback in these things, and I've been saying it for months. The defensive line needs to make up for the deficiencies that we have at linebacker and at corner, or the linebackers and corners, who we don't think are the greatest as of right now, they can take that next step, need to take the next step faster than they should be. And what's more likely? Darian Porter and Eric Stokes being Pro Bowl level corners, or the defensive line picking up a little bit of the slack? And I think it's obviously the defensive line picking up a little bit of the slack. And that's where Malcolm Kuntz and Tyree Wilson have to prove themselves. We saw it out of Malcolm. We saw a little bit out of Tyree, but not that much. We know Adam and Max are good. The season comes down to, can Tyree and Malcolm Kuntz help Max Crosby and Adam Butler and stop them from getting double-teamed every play? Because if not, it's going to be a lot of, what David here tweeted. Big plays on the Raiders' defense, and this is why we were calling it a shootout. The Raiders' offense didn't move the ball much during team drills, but they're clicking in red zone. Smith hit Bowers, Genty, Myers, and Tucker's all for touchdowns. That's huge. That's absolutely huge. Raiders and Niners trade big plays. Juszczyk got left wide open for a touchdown on the left side, or on one side, and Trey Tucker hauled in a deep touchdown on the other. Tashawn says, thought it was a pretty evenly matched practice between the Raiders and 49ers today. Raiders offense started slow but picked up during the red zone drills in the final 11-11 period. 49ers got the better of the Raiders defense throughout. So look, again, it's hard to quantify what all that means in a joint practice, and there are adjustments to be made in real games that you can't make in joint practices, right? All that to say, it feels like more of the same. We know Ashton's going to be sweet. We know Geno is clicking and firing on all cylinders with his weapons, and we know that the defense is going to leave a little bit to be desired. The one thing we might have learned from today, again, not going against all the 49ers starters, but again, we went against the Seahawks starters and it did not go well. The offensive line seems like it was playing better in this joint practice, which is going to be harder than a first game scrimmage, than it was playing against the Seattle Seahawks, which I think is the biggest takeaway. Offensive line is stepping up and meshing, because that's the best way to value and to evaluate the offensive line. It's how they are improving. Because even if you have an offensive line full of players who are bad, the only way they can go is up. They can't get worse throughout the season, because the best way an offensive line improves is by cohesion and chemistry. So even if you have a bunch of bad offensive linemen, they can build chemistry and improve from bad to average, right? If you start out average, which is what we are, or not great to average, the chemistry is only going to build to get to good. Does that make sense? So I'm happy from what I'm hearing about the offensive line. Not worried about Genty. Really concerned about the defense. Not concerned at all about the offense. This might be a 2016 season where we have to score 30 points per game because the defense is letting up 27 points per game. So that's it from the joint practice. We're going to talk a little bit about JPJ now, Richie Incognito. Talking about JPJ, I made a short about this, which is not up. Well, it will be up by the time this video is uploaded. It's also on Bleacher Report. Richie Incognito explains why the Raiders moved JPJ to guard after he was playing center for a lot. And we talked about this in the Discord a little bit. And this is kind of what we figured out before this article was played or posted, And if you want to join that Discord, it's completely free. Link is in the description. And it's in the pinned comment as well. On Monday, Sports Illustrated Hondo Carpenter shared some details as to why the Raiders have moved JPJ to right guard the last 2 weeks. They want more out of Powers Johnson, and they keep talking about Meredith's execution at center, and they love Jordan Meredith. I think they want him to be technically sound. Let's just leave it there, and that's clearly what they want. They think they can be more technically sound. Okay, so here's what Richie Incognito said. It comes down to the details, because the center position is hard enough when you're just running base offense and going out there and you're trying to set the table for the team. But when you're going out there and you're consistently changing the situation and you're changing 1st and 10 and 2nd and short and 3rd and long and 4th and goal, these are all completely different scenarios and they all have their own rules. So for JPJ to be successful at center, he'd really, really have to study. He'd have to really, really dig in and know the intricacies of the offense, know the little details. And I think that's what Jordan really gives them. He spent all summer studying the center position and you're seeing the hard work and those details show up. Incognito added that he loves JPJ's physical abilities, but to play center, the team needs more consistency. That's what Jackson Powers Johnson appears to be offering at the moment. Then what he appears to be offering at the moment. Jackson is a really talented kid. He's athletic, he's big, he's strong, he's physical, and the one thing I'd like to see him get is that technique. Going out there and running around and causing havoc is great, but on 3rd and long in the 4th quarter when you got to have it, you've got to have good technique. So I think right now with the competition, they know what they have with Jordan at center, and it's all about Jackson proving he can play with good technique snap after snap. I'm fine with that. Everybody's like so up in arms. JPJ's a natural center. He should be playing the center position. I don't know. None of you are coaches or general managers. And Richie Incognito is a former absolute dog lineman. And he's come out and said, look, JPJ is probably the most physical, mauling, nasty lineman on the team. But he doesn't yet have the cerebral mindset or the technique to play center. And he's a young kid. Give him time. Not everyone can be Jeff Saturday, right? Instantly. It takes time. If right now Jordan Meredith has the best body type and the best physical and mental mindset to play center, then that's fine. We will get rid of Alex Kappa and put JPJ at right guard. Which, by the way, when we signed Alex Kappa, everyone was screaming and yelling, oh my God, he's terrible. Well, guess what? He's not playing now. So would you rather have JPJ at center and Alex Kappa at right guard, or would you rather have Jordan Meredith at center and JPJ at right guard? Because JPJ at right guard can chill out. He doesn't have to worry about making all the signals right now. He can still learn it in case Jordan Meredith goes down. And now we have a backup center that can come in and take the center job once Jordan Meredith moves on from the team, whenever that is. Or maybe Jordan Meredith becomes a great center. We don't know. But we're going to have the best 5 offensive linemen out there, and it's going to be Miller, Parham. That's really good on the left side of the line. Meredith, who's continuing to grow, and they love his cerebral mindset. JPJ, who's probably the most physical guard in the league. And then DJ Glaze, who had a decent rookie season, and is probably going to only improve from that. So I'm not concerned about it. I would like to have had JPJ take the job and win it, but that's the reality of the situation. Is he going to learn from this and continue to put his head in the playbook, or is he going to throw his hands up and say, I'm a guard now? That's the separation between good and great players. Good players just are stagnant and stay where they are, and great players ascend to another level. And they're lighting a fire under him, and let's see how it turns out. So that was it for me. Joint practice was a shootout. The defense is of concern. Offensive line is moving the ball and getting a little better, and the offense is still explosive. Like I said, we are 100 away from 14,000. Hit that like button, comment away, and please be sure to subscribe. It is free after all, no charge to you. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.